As the HR manager slid the envelope across the table, my heart sank, but my mind ignited with a spark I hadn't felt in years. The company that had been my home for a decade was closing its doors, and as I walked out into the blinding sunlight, a mix of fear and exhilaration coursed through me. I realized then that I had two choices: succumb to despair or seize this as an opportunity to rewrite my future. Standing on the sidewalk, I pulled out my phone and opened a blank document, my fingers flying across the screen as I outlined the business idea that had been simmering in the back of my mind for months. In the weeks that followed, my living room became a command center, cluttered with sticky notes, whiteboards, and late-night takeout containers. I poured all my severance pay into developing a platform that connected freelancers with companies in need of temporary expertise, something my former employer had sorely lacked. Every rejection email and delayed response only fueled my determination. I reached out to former colleagues, friends, and even strangers who shared my vision, and slowly, a community began to form. Together, we tested and tweaked the platform, driven by a shared goal of creating something that would make a difference. 6 months in, we launched the beta version, and the response was overwhelming. I watched as the user count ticked upwards, and the first success stories began to roll in. People finding meaningful work, companies completing projects they'd shelved for lack of resources, and freelancers thriving in a network that valued their skills. The day we hired our 100th employee was the first time I allowed myself to pause and reflect on how far we'd come. The project had grown beyond anything I'd imagined. On that fateful day I walked out of my old job, and the sense of fulfillment was indescribable. This journey taught me that adversity can be the breeding ground for innovation, and that a setback is only a setup for a comeback. By embracing uncertainty and trusting in my ability to create change, I found a purpose that not only lifted me from despair but also empowered 100 others. Life's unexpected turns often lead us to where we are meant to be, and sometimes, losing everything is the first step towards gaining something far greater.